indeed. Black people like to talk a lot. It's going, it's on. And once you're in, you can't get out. This is a one-way in Zoom. They go, oh, this is terrible. It's like a horror movie. It won't let us out. You usually can click leave. You can't leave.
Hotel California.
Yes, indeed.
Check out, but you can
You
never
can't. You can't leave. Part of entrepreneurship. What an interesting discussion tonight. We're talking about bridging the wealth gap through entrepreneurship. And interesting enough, you guys, I want you all to ask me as many questions as you can, because I don't know if your life experience is like mine, and that I'm going to make sure so that the school will have a recording of this. I'm gonna press their record. It's letting me do things like I'm the host, so we're going forward.
Recording in progress.
This is an opportunity to share with the students of Mount St. Mary's University, and they're excited about entrepreneurship. And this is amazing. This is a blessing. It's a great chance. I mean, this is since COVID. I don't even think, generally when I talk on a university level, it's always about my work. I own an investment advisory firm. And so it's about building wealth and doing investments and stuff like that. But I really enjoy talking about the first investment that I made, really, that was of any significance, was when I was in my 20s, straight out of University of Virginia. Well, then I went and got my master's, and I was working hard. And I decided I wanted to leave the investment firm. I was a stock, and I wanted to start my firm. And that was in 1995, you guys. And back in 1995, that was not heard of. Like, it was like my boss, when I told him that I was leaving the firm, he said, seriously, what company are you going to? Come on, you can tell me. I was like, no, sir, I'm starting my own firm. And now when I talk to, mostly men, and they say, like, how did you start a registered investment advisory firm in 1995? Like, nobody was doing that. And then I go, well, I don't know. I just wanted to do it. It was a dream. And, much like many of you, I want to just be here to encourage you to live your dream, to do exactly whatever it is that you've been, that if you feel that you want to take your college degree and you want to start your own business, do the same, just like, I did, and get in your own business as well. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the experiences I have to. If there's anyone else out there that can let people in, that would be great. Check this out, you guys. Research at the University of California, Santa Cruz, they said that, and along with the National Bureau of Economic Research, so the university and the National Bureau of Economic Research just started studying when COVID happened, and they discovered that 41% of Black-owned businesses, about 440,000, closed due to COVID. And that was compared to 17% of white-owned businesses failed due to COVID. So as an investment advisor, it really took me back to see that for many business owners, going business can really devastate health and their assets, because your business is an asset. And as you've seen now, where people start their firms and they'll come out with a business, and then they sell that business and they might make millions, even billions. I'm going to tell you a story about some guys that made billions. So I believe that the future of this world lies with your generation, Gen Z, born between 1997 and 2010. The Generation Z follows the millennials. And while you're like the millennials, you're different. Your approach to business is different. Your look at entrepreneurship is different. You are rapidly becoming the most entrepreneurial generation ever in the history of this country. with 62% of Gen Zers saying that they have started or intend to start their own business. And according to a Nielsen study, about 54% of Gen Z indicated that they wanted to even start. So this is pretty consistent. You know, these are two studies that are saying there's some major movement within your generation of starting your own businesses. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to be debt free. I should say, you want to be. You want to be debt free. You want to have a purposeful, according to research, it says that you want to have a purpose filled life, not just work. You want to be good to the environment, good to the planet. You have these entrepreneurship ambitions that when I was your age and I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur, it was rare. I was met with, "Don't do it. You're too young." I never met anyone like myself saying you should start your own business, even though you're very young. Never, never did I get that. But I did it anyway. Now, thankfully, you have the encouragement and the support of the environment around you. A significant portion of your Generation Z demographic is even having second thoughts about doing what you're doing. Many are skipping college and going ahead and starting their own businesses because they don't want to have the debt. But I challenge you that you can have both. You can have both. We can complete, less like I did, you can complete college and go on to start your own business. And you will feel more confident, more equipped. Not everyone needs to, but definitely indeed for the majority, the overwhelming majority of us will do better having college. Would they have accepted me as a stockbroker without my college degree? Most likely not. Even though it is not a requirement for a securities license, it is a requirement to work at most firms. That would have been my intro into the business, would not have ever happened. And I would not have been able to leave and have my own investment firm. So college for some careers is indeed vital. And this is an amazing time to start a business. You know, technology has matured to a point that many businesses can be started with just your phone, a laptop, and an internet connection. You don't have to have all three. Just your phone. I was watching a young lady, a TED talk today, and she was talking about running her business for telephone. Think of how many business ventures can be launched with almost no overhead, not to mention my own, financial services. You just need your computer and your next client. That's what you need. Travel agencies, consulting firms, you might be a website consultant. I mean, you can do so many things. Marketing company, especially when you're talking about social media marketing, software development, lawn care, hairstylists, uh, uh, e-courses, media company, design companies, photography business. You could be an HR recruiting company. These don't require a lot of capital. There's not a big inventory that's needed. You can start your own information technology company. I mean, we could go on if we were opening up the mics, like you could give me, I'm sure you give me feedback on a whole bunch of businesses that could be started with little to nothing out of pocket. But I have to tell you, business is indeed challenging. And every day, as an investment advisor, I watch millions of professionals and entrepreneurs work and save their money. We put it into the stock market, and the stock market is just buying parts of other people's businesses. And we're waiting for their businesses to grow. And millions of others are saving up to make a down payment to buy some real estate or something. In the meantime, you can actually start your own business and immediately start generating income right off the bat. don't have to wait. I mean, we just don't think about how simple it is. We just have to do it. That's the key point of just doing it. So here are a few reasons that I think that more young people should consider entrepreneurship. Now, I started when I first got out of undergrad. I accepted a banking job, and I said to myself, "There's no way that I could pay these school loans with this banking job." It was like, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but it was $28,000, and I was like, "There's no way I could do this. How am I going to pay the school loans, get me an apartment, get me a car, do all I have to do with this? I have to figure out something else." So I said, I have to put myself into a position that I can make unlimited and do something that I really love. So I started calling before I even graduated a radio station. I wanted to do advertising sales. And I told the college, I went to University of Virginia undergrad. And I told the recruiter, and I went to the McIntyre School of Commerce. So I was designed as an accounting and finance double major. I was supposed to take that banking job. That was it. But I told the guy who was in the career planning and placement office, "There's no way that I'm going to do this." And the best, offer, it was consistently, that was like of the high pay back then. And I was like, "There's no way I'm going to accept this. I'm going to get myself into a position where I can make unlimited income, period. I cannot wait for somebody to say that I did good enough, or I got to check with somebody else to see if you're going to get a raise or something like that." So I kept asking to get this sales job. And then finally, the man said, "Come on into my office. I'll talk to you." And I told him, he said, "You're coming from University of Virginia Business School and you want to sell advertising?" And I said, "Yes, sir. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do." And he said, "Well, I'll talk to you later." So I kept calling him 6 more months. So he came and he said, "Look, if you call these customers like you've been calling me, we're going to be all right together. We're going to be all right." So I told him, "I'm going to call." So he said, "What kind of pay you want?" I said, "Sir, I don't need a base pay. I need the job. I need the opportunity. I don't need the base pay, because whatever your base pay is, I don't want it." He said, "Well, we have to pay you something." I said, "Well, whatever it is, minimum pay wage, whatever your base pay is, you just go ahead and pay me that, but I'm not going to make that. I'm going to, what's my commission payout?" And he told me, and I said, "I'm going to sell somebody some advertising." And I ended up doubling my income and accelerating my income for the rest of my life, because I made that move to put myself in a position to make unlimited income. And that's what entrepreneurship does. So when I went to the investment firm, it didn't matter to me what their, base salary was. Again, I just said, just make sure I get this license. Let me get this training. Let me get this opportunity. Let me go out there and help people build wealth. That's what I got to do. So I took my sales job. And while I was doing the sales job, I went to graduate school full time at night. Then I got the job at the investment firm. Then at the investment firm, after being there a few years, not too long, not 5, I was still in my 20s, you know what I mean? Not even close to 30. And I said, "Okay, it's time to do this." And I left to start my own firm. I said, if I can work with no base for them, I can work for myself and my customers without a base, because that's what you experience as an entrepreneur. So once you get into this attitude that you get compensated based on your commitment to excellence of helping people, you get almost addicted to it. Like you wouldn't even want to be limited by something else. So my key point there is that entrepreneurship is the best way to increase your income in many cases. You're removing a glass ceiling. You're removing any ceiling from your life. And I'm not saying, that starting a business is for everyone, but that's look, but that's what we're talking about tonight. But it can unlock your potential for increased income and freedom, flexibility. Mm. See, many people feel stuck, like they accept things and they feel that they're not living up to their potential. There are a large group of people who are underemployed and frustrated, meaning they know that they can do something better, but they just accepted it and then they're frustrated. And I remember the lady at the bank that tried to convince me to stay after I got the job that I wanted. And she said, well, you should just stay and, things will get better. It's a great opportunity. It's not like I'm happy here or anything, but, and then I read a couple years later, she killed herself, walked straight into a river, wrote a letter, left the letter in her car, and she killed herself. And to me, that confirmed to me that you must allow yourself to be free. You must make a commitment to being and living your best life. Don't underachieve yourself. Underachieving and not being all that you can be just as toxic as trying to do more. And constantly, people will tell me, oh, when are you going to rest? Oh, you work so much. Oh, you really, it's you when you're doing what you know that you're put here to do, when you know that you're helping people, when you know that you might be saying something to somebody tonight and telling me in a couple of years from now how you have this huge firm that you started or this product that you created because I encouraged you. So starting a business is your opportunity to break free of any limitations. My second point is a business allows you to use your education to build wealth. Use the knowledge that you're gaining to build wealth. That's the key to your true financial success. Just think, a business idea thought about early enough in life can feed hundreds. Over my career, I've had so many people on my staff that I have helped them take care of themselves and their family and send their kids to school and college and take care of them, save for themselves and things. The lives that impact as an entrepreneur, it's just beautiful. Thousands. And they're I mean, it's amazing. I want you to just imagine if you work for a company for 30 years in hopes of one day getting a pension from them that will feed one generation, maybe two if they have it where the next generation could get half of your check or something like that. But if you build a business for 30 years, you can feed endless generations from your brand, from your website, from your product, from your app, way beyond your life. So when you're building your business, you're investing in your own dream. When you're working for someone else, you're helping them build their dream. And that's okay. Some people are dream makers and some people are dreamers, and we hire dream makers. Everybody is needed. I don't know if you all know these two guys, Andy Fang and Stanley Tang. And I'm not even making those names up. Have y'all ever heard of them? Fang and Tang? Fang and Tang. Never. Oh man, Emily, I'm gonna see if they're single. These guys are like, Mr. Andy Fang is worth $2 billion. Tang is worth $2 billion. They both started DoorDash. They founded DoorDash. They founded DoorDash, the food delivery app, in 2013. Last year, they went public, 2020, after the pandemic. and they became multi-billionaires. You got to know their name, y'all. A third point, that's entrepreneurship. That's entrepreneurship. They just came up with this idea. Why don't we do this software to make this app? And then the restaurants can, people can go in there and order food. Think about it. As simple as that, a thought. A third point, that technology has opened doors for me. So that technology can open doors for you. When I started my company, I thought it was really advanced because I was using the phone line, going online, and using the internet and doing my stock trades and everything. And that was advanced. Now you have Wi-Fi, you have YouTube. Technology is opening doors for you that didn't exist for everyone else. Your generation, you will change the world. You will change the world and how you approach it. And then my fourth point is social media and all of its goodness, because people talk about social media all the time. Oh, it's so bad, blah, 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 But the people that talk about it, of course, they don't own their own business. So I think every time I think like a boss. Most people think like an employee. When you're trying to market your company, can you imagine the equalizing effect that Facebook has when you can run a spot and Pfizer can run a spot at the same time? Where I had to run a radio ad, and if Pfizer comes in and they run a radio ad at the time I want the radio ad, it couldn't have been run. And plus, they want to talk to other people. So on Facebook, you can target Facebook and all of them. You can target who you want your ad for your business to go to. Social media is the entrepreneur's paradise. It's everything, not to even think about Google Analytics. Google Analytics tells me more about my customer than I want to know. They tell me everything. It tells me what page you want, what you went to, where you landed on my website, what you looked at, where you stayed the longest, everything. The only challenge is finding the right people to maximize that information. I have finally found a person just a little bit older than you all, who his business is focused on analyzing my analytics for me. Making sure that I get it, giving me my updates, what page is most popular, where are they going. You have that at the beginning. You have it at the beginning. I'm maximizing it to the best of my ability, but the compounding effect that you can have with those type of advantages, you don't have to just advertise to everybody. You can go right into your market. That's yours. And then, so my fifth point is you can build your brand without a big company controlling you. You don't have to wait and see. I mean, like, even say if you were a rapper, and you wanted to your record to become popular, you wouldn't have to wait for a record label to pick you up. You could go right on YouTube. And if you're good, you're good. And if you just went on there and you lived every day, it's really about the commitment to live streaming. I don't know if anybody knows people that live stream, but I've noticed that people who just live stream all the time, you know what I mean? They're going to get the response. So if I could sing and I did that, I could build my brand right off of a tool that didn't exist, wasn't even possible 20, 30 years ago for you to become famous that way, for your talent to be discovered that way. Many artists now are staying independent or creating their own labels, trying to avoid having to be caught up under a label. They can do that. Creating brands because they know the product is more important than their talent. LeBron James makes more money from his product sales than he does from playing basketball. If they don't win, he might have to stop on the show. And he probably make more money when he stops playing. Look at Michael Jordan, sneakers. His old sneakers are selling for over $1 million for his rookie sneakers. But that's only because your generation is going on there doing the auctions. You know, one of them guys, Fang or Tang, probably gonna buy them. You know, because who buys sneakers for $1 million? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you have young people now that have that kind of money. But so you can build a brand without being a big company. My sixth point is that your generation has a high level of consciousness and you're committed to improving the world. You know, that it's for you, in my opinion, it's more about helping people and making the world a better place than about money. You know, and because of that attitude, it makes your business sustainable. Because if it were only about making money, I would have stopped working after I paid my school loans off, right? But you know, it's like, but it is really about helping people, building wealth, seeing my community do better and advancing and seeing people's lives being helped by the truth that I bring. You know, that is so much bigger than money. So when the stock market is down, you know, I'm not getting paid as much because I get compensated more when assets are up at a higher value. You know, if you're getting the fee, then the fee is higher when the assets are up. So when the assets are down, hey, we all hurt. But you don't give up when it's for a greater good. When it's you love what you're doing. You love it and you wouldn't do it any other way. And then my seventh point is you have the tools. You have the tools, but you have to use everything that you have wisely. You know, like that young lady was saying, like she uses her cell phone to do all of her business and things. You know, most people don't use their phone that way. You know, if we could use all of our tools effectively and not buy stuff that we really don't need, you know, like every time there's an upgrade, you know, going and spending $1,000 on the phone instead of maybe buying $1,000 what you need for this new app you're trying to create or this new e-course you want to make or something like that. You know, I mean, you can put that back. Like I remember, you know, when I used to buy like expensive cars, and I said, I'm not going to buy these expensive cars anymore because I want to come out with products. So I started putting money into publishing my own books, made a regular book, made a workbook, made a kid's book. You know, I was like, I made a coloring book. I wanted books that represented, I wanted things that would be here after I'm gone. I started focusing on, you know, doing more workshops, more sessions. But if we're taking our money and we're putting it into the wrong area, you know, so I never feel like when people, I was on a radio show and one of the callers was like, my school loans are so high. I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, well, you're going to pay them. That's what you're going to do. I feel like your school loans are one of the greatest blessings. If a person can't afford, like I couldn't, and we can get a loan to go to school, what a blessing. Because you're getting the loan so that you can get the job that you want. You're leveraging the education to get higher. Now, if you go into debt and then you don't get a job or work to the level to pay for that loan, then you're not maximizing yourself. Because paying that loan payment should be minimal. That should be nothing. That should just be a fraction because your work should be so tight. You should be working on that type of level that the loan doesn't mean a thing to you. But we do have to make sure that we're not over loaning, that we're not borrowing, you know, money that we really don't need. So we have to be smart about it. Have to be smart. And in closing, I just want to say that I pray that your life is easier than mine. But yet, I want you to develop the discipline of a warrior. I hope that you become wiser than me. while you still stay humble enough to never give up. And I wish that you have an imagination that comes with no limits at all. I want you to be unstoppable and live all of your dreams. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me before y'all go? Thank you. Y'all are good. I hope I cover. I'm sorry.